I'm going to break the shackles that for so long have bound me to the lost souls in the ghetto.
Can't be on the same page when we in two totally different chapters.
So how many times we gonna watch our brothers perish?
They already killing us.
Because you're poison.
I am whatever you want me to be. Do you really think I asked to be like this?
Please live it in.
I'm sorry for the pain I've dealt.
This isn't my fault, but something is off.
I am a human being. How did I get here?
Your hideaway jackknife against your skin. Find parasites in it.
When I say CC, you say P. CC. CC. When I say drop the, you say Mike. Drop the. Mike. Drop the. Mike. When I say I love, you say poetry. I love. Poetry. I love. Poetry. Give it up for drop the mic. Let's get it started.
What's up, CCP? How y'all feel today? So happy to hear that. Welcome to the second round, the final round of the final showcase of season 4 of the 3-time Emmy-nominated Drop the Mic. Show your love for Drop the Mic. We have 12 really amazing student poets who are going to be coming on stage this afternoon to share their poetry, to move you, to really make you feel the power of their words. And we hope that you're going to give them energy back and that you're going to show your love. This is our 4th year doing this, and we are just always so grateful when we have audience members who can come in. So please give yourselves a round of applause. We're just so happy to have you here. So my name is Dr. Michelle Myers, and I'm an associate professor in the English department here at Community College of Philadelphia. And just really quickly, I'm going to go through the rules. So each poet will come up, and they will have 3 minutes and 15 seconds to perform their poem. If they go over 3 minutes and 15 seconds, there will be a half point deducted for each second that they go over. And the folks who will be determining all of that, and I do not envy them, right, to have to judge this, are our amazing panel of judges. Please give it up for our judges. So introducing our judges, starting with the judge closest to the audience, we have Black Cancer. Please make some noise for Black Cancer. Black Cancer has been on 2 seasons of Drop the Mic. He was our 3rd place winner last season, season 3. He's also a graduate of Community College of Philadelphia. He graduated last May. Please put your hands together for being a graduate. We're really happy to have him here. He's a guest judge sitting in for Kevin Covington, who couldn't be here with us today, and Kevin is a support coach in the Center for Male Engagement. And next to Black Cancer, we have Elizabeth Catanese. Please make some noise for Elizabeth. She's an assistant professor in the English department here at Community College of Philadelphia. And next to Elizabeth, we have Alicia Dantzler. Please make some noise for Alicia. Alicia is also a graduate of Community College of Philadelphia. She also has her bachelor's degree, and she's about to go on to get her master's degree. Please show your love for that, for going on and getting a graduate degree. She is also a spoken word poet. And next to Alicia, we have DeForio Barlow. Please put your hands together for DeForio. DeForio is a testing specialist in the assessment center here at Community College of Philadelphia. Are y'all ready to hear some poetry? Yeah. So the poet on deck is EC, and coming to the mic now, we have Dave. Please make some noise for Dave.
My final poem was about a young brother named Nasir, who grew up in the stereotypical environment, single mom house, and how he explained his story all through life, how he went from his mom being just supported by his mom to his mom leaving the house.
Hi, my name's Nasir. I'm 8 years old, and I'm from Philly. I live with my mom, and I don't really know my dad. I just know that every time I see him, he's wearing the same orange jumpsuit. He tells me he's in the school for boys, but I think he's in jail. He always promises me how he's going to call me and how he's going to come home and gives me dates of his graduation, and every time he gives me a date, it changes. Every time he tells me he called me, he never does. Hi, my name's Nasir. I'm 12 years old, and I'm from Philly. I still live with my mom, but since the last time we spoke, she's been coming home less and less. I'm also starting to know that she's losing weight and she's coming home later. Plus, it's been years since I've seen my dad. She told me that my dad graduated again. I told her, Mom, I'm 12, I know better. So she tells me the truth. The truth is, your dad been locked up for dope dealing. I hear kids in my class talk all the time about how their dads sell drugs and how they're able to get everything they want. I know it's something that I shouldn't be considering, but, I barely have any good clothes and I barely eat. Hi, My name's Nasir. I'm 14, and I'm from Philly. My mom has pretty much stopped coming home, and the few times I do see her, she's coming through the block asking for money or for another rock. I don't give her neither. My homie say, why don't you serve your mom? The money that's not going in your pocket is going to someone else's, so why not take it? I say, that's my mom. One day she comes and tells me she really needs her fix, and I deny her the fix. She throws a fit. We argue. She yells, I curse, we go back and forth. She tells me that if I don't give her this rock, she's going to kill my little brother, my little sister that is residing in her belly. Hi, my name's Nasir. I'm 16 and my sister May is 2. We're from Philly. My mom has stopped coming home. The last time I saw her, she came home one night, sat my crying sister on the couch and walked out. My sister was 6 months old. It was January. I stopped going to school so I could make sure both me and my sister were taken care of. My girlfriend stays at home with my girlfriend stays at home with my little sister while I hit the block to stack up. It's hard trying to keep this facade up, but I got to make sure they know that everything is good. While deep down, I feel like I'm slipping into nothing. Hi, my name's Nasir. I'm 20 and my sister May is 6. Since the last time we spoke, I moved up from a corner boy to owning my own block. I got my little sister and girlfriend back in the school, and you know, money's coming in. I tell them that I do it just to keep them good, but I know that's a lie. I do it for the attention. I do it because I got nice cars, I got nice clothes, and I can do what the fuck I want. Who gonna tell me otherwise? Hi, my name's Nasir. This year I would have been 21, and my sister May is 7. I was killed in a robbery. I'm from Philly where outsiders call it the city of brotherly love, but all too often am I seeing brothers fill their brothers with slugs. I'm from Philly where they tell you that it's okay to just get by when we really ain't just getting by. I'm from Philly where dads leave their children to be raised by single mothers because they were, where dads leave their children to be raised by single mothers because they didn't know how to break the cycle. I'm from Philly where single mothers had to raise their boys to be men because the water is running dry. I'm from Philly where I'm from Philly where a father figure is the difference between being in a hole, whether it be in a prison cell or an earth, or the influence of a man. I'm from Philly where, man, I'm gonna just get to the end of this because I messed up. But the point is, I had to teach myself how to be a father figure. I didn't have that example set for me, and I look to be the example for the people out there that can't speak for themselves, for the people that are scared to break their cycle of recidivism because they don't know nothing better. I'm that voice for everybody that can't speak for themselves. That's the point.
Give it up one more time for Dave. Black Cancer, do you have some feedback?
Clever way to start, even though you dropped a big hint after I think it was orange jumpsuit. You said, I think he might be in jail. So I liked how you started that. Witnessing your fam losing weight and coming home late, that was good relativity. A good timeline of age and events. And you gave a flow. You gave a flow once you started the age of 14, and it was very noticeable. Very personal, deep, and vulnerable, so I commend you for that. You went over the time, but I don't care. You got your point across. You got your message out, and that's what Drop the Mic is about. Good job, man.
Thank you.
Elizabeth.
I was also really moved by the poem. I think that you were feeling everything that you were saying, and you were in it. It had a lot of creative devices like the Hi, My Name's Nasir going throughout time. When there was a little sister involved, that made it even more powerful. And I liked the way that you changed up the tone and the style at the end of the poem. I think it was your best performance. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you.
Alicia.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the intro to the piece, the intro each time, and that repetition that came with it. I also like how you told the story. It kind of reminded me of like a person who's in like an AA meeting to an extent, but that addiction is more so trying to find family. I like the way every time you came in, that's what I got from it. And I feel like at one point when you started the piece, you had like more confidence delivering this. And then when you like had your little fall offs, it was noticeable, but I didn't even realize the time because I was so drawn into the piece.
And DeForio.
Dave, I think you listened to us. I think you took our advice to heed, and I think you did exactly what we expected you to do. I think you did a good job. You were a little nervous, but still in all, I think it was a good poem. I liked the narration by Nasir throughout the whole piece, so I thought it was good.
Thank you.
Thank you, judges. One more time for Dave. The poet on deck is multidimensional. And coming to the mic now, we have EC. Please put your hands together for EC.
My poem was about, it's basically like a letter to a mother, like saying like, you give me all these hopes and dreams, but you're never really there to support me.
Why do you always put the opinion of your mother first? Does it really matter? This came from a girl whose life was handed her on a silver platter. A mother's touch, so sweet, so soft. Her voice cries out such gentle thoughts. To have a mother, but not really have a mother. To have a mother, but not really have a mother. The looks you give me are like I'm not your own. Those times I needed the most, you turned your back on me. When daddy beat you, I was there to comfort. I whispered in your ears, Mommy, I love you. Girls are seen but not heard, you drilled in my head. All I wanted was your approval. Each day, there was a new face I tried on just to show you that I was not the devil's spawn. At the lunch table, I tell my friends, my mom's coming. The bell would ring. I started humming. It will be okay. Empty promises were all that you gave me. Graduation, I sang loud, thinking you were there. After I ran in the crowd, I couldn't find you. As I grew older, the wedge between us became stronger. A mother's love is supposed to be kind and tender. Talking to you became harder. My jaw perk just grew and grew. But maybe I'll reach a breakthrough. But the love you had for me was only a twinkle in your eye. That pain still lingers deep down inside. Thank you.
One more time for EC. Elizabeth, do you have some feedback?
I feel in this round, everyone is really inhabiting their poems so nicely. I also felt you feeling every word that you were saying. I think the topic is really important, the expectations versus the reality, sometimes of motherhood. I liked the moment when you were talking about each day there's a new face I'd try on, talking about all of that complexity in the poem, but delivering it in a sad tone. It worked really well for me.
Thank you. Alicia.
Yeah, for me, this was like, I want to say like the poem of like Motherless Child. I definitely got that same feeling, as well as I really like the new face line and looking for that acceptance and hearing like the confusion and the sadness and kind of like that innocent child voice throughout the poem was really good.
DeForio.
I like the privateness of the poem. It sounded like a journal entry to me. Something that you really wanted to get off paper and get off your chest. So I thought you did a good job.
And Black Cancer.
You set your own tone when you come on stage, especially when you present your poems, which I like. You gave power and character in a settled and comforting way. Each day a new face I tried on. I like that line. Very good pace with simplicity to your words and movement. And it was cute rhymes, if you know what I mean when I say that. So it fit. It was a good job the way you presented it.
Thank you, judges. One more time for EC. The poet on deck is Soothsayer, and coming to the mic now, we have Multidimensional. Please put your hands together for Multidimensional.
As I open up my window shade, I see outside just a lot that is going on. I see these cops running through my block every damn day. Nobody don't know what the hell is really going on. As I run outside just to go and confide to my best friend because he lost his mom the other night when they shot and robbed her when she was walking home. Presidents was never hesitant, but it was evident that nobody really gave a shit, but nobody ever noticed when I see it. It's a lot going on. I close my eyes and hoping that I could die, overdosing on cocaine and amphetamines. I've been drinking ever since the age of 9. My niggas be coming through, we shoot it like Columbine. I got rigor mortars, we stacked up in the story. Nobody knew that the story was really born. Robbing like Ori, nobody can know me. Fucking around, I swinging these swords like Obi-Wan Kenobi. Got Star Wars for starring, nobody be pouring. Out my liquid pain, but niggas we keep boring. Nobody don't give a damn, I keep boarding up my house cause these niggas keep robbing us every morning. I'm hoping one day that my mom can see that a nigga like me is the nightmares that she dream. Nobody can ever scheme, nobody can ever stop me, but niggas you always hating cause niggas will always copy. Get it, and I got it. Took it, and I ran with it. Nigga, I had a plan, my life was falling with it. I pick up the pieces, going right all back. Nobody ever knew that my life fell off track. Cocaine sniffing, nobody else was listening. Nobody knew that my life was never glistening. I wanted 5-star hotels to stay in. Nobody knew that my life was the can. Just like rotten teeth, nobody can ever be. Nobody can ever stop me. Your nigga is obsolete. Brown skin sinning, winning, coming through and be grinning. Robbing everybody, gonna train for the beginning. Fuck that, put coins in for a new starter. Matter of fact, nobody knew I was starting. Right up in my lineup. Give me a gun and drug. My niggas don't give a fuck. My niggas don't get no love. We here.
Make some noise one more time for Multidimensional. Alicia.
Once again with my randomness. I feel like, it's not that random. I feel like when I hear you deliver, your style remind me of like somebody's private thoughts. And then you just having this intimate moment with us sharing those private thoughts. Just thinking about like the pieces that I've heard you deliver. I noticed you took your hand out of your pocket, so thank you. And also with that being said, you also included more gestures with the use of the left and the right hand. You had one point where you said, it was a line you said something about picked it up, where you kind of set it up and picked it up with your gestures. So I think that was really dope and I liked the flow.
DeForio.
Again, I agree with Alicia. I think the flow was good. I just wanted you to connect more with the audience. And at some point, I thought you were going to grab the mic and then start connecting, and that didn't happen, so I was kind of waiting for that.
Black Cancer.
Bust it down. That's number one. Second is enunciate. Now, the good stuff. You listen. Yes, you were about to put your hand in your pocket. You thought about it. You didn't put it in. It seemed like it worked. Looked like you were feeling a little bit more than you was before. I don't know. You got out of your comfort zone of security. I praise you for that. Good rhyme pattern. Like, I started snapping once I heard the lines collide. I'm a big fan of that. That right hand was rolling with your words, so that definitely helps when you talk. And you felt it. The cadence was different, a little on and off, but I liked the inflections and the way that you carried your voice and the whole rhyme scheme. So, yeah, good job, dude.
And Elizabeth.
I like the message of this one, too, about there being a lot going on outside and how people are not necessarily noticing everything that's happening. I think that your whole performance was very integrated and smooth, and it must have been really hard to memorize all of those lines and still maintain that rhythm and flow, so very impressed.
Thank you, judges. One more time for Multidimensional. The poet on deck is Ty J. Coming to the mic now, we have Soothsayer. Please make some noise for Soothsayer.
Hey, I'm trying to let you know, like, this is how the world is today. Ain't nothing changed.
We not niggas, we not bitches, we're kings and queens. Calling me a nigga is place me under a human being. Don't believe me, do your research. While you at it, look inside yourself, cause yourself need to be researched. We the ones that need to be rebirthed, so we the ones that need to be rebirthed. They want us to revert back to plantation so we can rework. When they need a stepping stool, they decide to stand on me. When I look in the mirror, I see the whips, the nails, the chains, the burns, the ropes. Man, I got my ancestors' brains on me. See, back in the day, they gave us wine so we could get drunk, fight each other to the death. That's what lifted their spirits. That's why everywhere you look, there's a wine and spirits. Did you know in wine there's spirits? They said wine should help you unwind, so when you unwind, you hear it. The voices of our ancestors. We are our ancestors. If you see me talking to myself, just know that's just me having a conversation with my ancestors. I try to tell them I try to get rid of my last name because it came from a slave master. Got me thinking you're still attached to these slave masters. I look up like, am I a slave master? Because every time you report to the white man, like saying I'm still your slave master. What, you ain't gonna do me like Emmy till I whistle at you? You got the right generation. Push your button, we shooting missiles at you. Yeah, we living in the Matrix. You could be Neo, but the only difference is you won't see no missiles pass you. What, you thought I forgot how you kidnapped me, brought me to the United States just to put me in the zoo to be laughed in my face? A lot of laughs in this place. Yeah, they gasping for air as they laugh at our race. So I call them Taz, because they the devils. When I get far, if I start to mumble, don't like to be surrounded, wasn't born in the huddle. Only time to stay united is when you playing with a puzzle. They saying we the monkeys. I mean, that's baloney. So they the monkeys, and we got the bananas that they hungry. Separate the flesh from the bones and the bones from the organs that they lonely. Tell that to your homie. In Hershey, you might want to hurt me. Y'all really out of pocket. Y'all took the slave kids and forced them to make some chocolate. Try that again, just know I'm rocking. Try that again, we get it popping. Cause for my own, I go from 99 to 100 quick. See you on all 100 channels, like you already seen the 100 clips. Loud on the president's mind, so I let my money vent. They say we live in the United States, and the state's not united. That bullshit people be buying. Do truth really exist if everybody is lying? Everywhere you look, somebody is dying. So should we be underwater if everybody is crying? This man always been in black. Still never seen this battle of Orion. Thank you.
One more time for Soothsayer. DeForio.
I think you should call yourself the historian. At the end of the day, my favorite part was you live in the United States and states not united. For real. That's really what it's about. Good job, though, bro.
Thank you.
Black Cancer.
Long rhyme pattern. It's not A-B. It's like A-C-A-D. I'm a big stinkler about rhyme schemes, so you don't give the regular cadence. You actually try to stretch the rhyme and word out, and it's noticeable. So good job with that. Great delivery. Your message starts strong and ends the same. You are not to be taken lightly. You're not a joke. Like you demand the respect when you get on stage, especially when, as soon as you come off, it's something about you. So I dig that. For some slave kids to go make some chocolate or something amongst those lines. I like that line, and it was so many. Your character is phenomenal. Dude, good job.
Thank you.
Elizabeth.
You're a master at wordplay. You can take a word and just run with it for longer than I've seen. So like the wordplay with the word wine was amazing. And then you maintain the rhythm and the pacing until sometimes at the end you just slow it down and bring it home. Very masterful.
Thank you.
And Alicia.
All right, so you went from Pac to Martin Luther King. Then you gotta throw a little Malcolm X in there. Like you like all of these three tied up in one in this piece. And I like your ability to flip words. Like it's dope. You flip so many words. It's just like, okay, let me catch this, let me catch this, let me catch this. And each time you come back, like that's like my favorite thing. And I think with this piece, my favorite line was the slave master line and how you brought that back every time in a different way. It was dope. It's just dope.
Thank you.
Thank you, judges. One more time for Soothsayer.
Thank you.
The poet on deck is Don Fiction. And coming to the mic, we have Ty J. Please make some noise for Ty J.
It's a topic that people don't really talk about because they don't know what's going on since they're not in the military. And I kind of want to shed some type of little light on it.
The United States military, the crowning jewel of this nation's empire, with millions willing to lock eyes with the face of death, then unleash a fury of M16 bullets to protect and defend us. Other countries are left shaking in their boots because they know when we march in, the fight is on. However, for some, the fight doesn't happen overseas. It starts right here at the home front. The fight for equal pay opportunities, the fight to use whatever bathroom they choose, and the fight to tell whether if they asked or not. Transgendered, gay men, and women all deserve the freedom to fight for this here land of the free, as if a trigger had a gender or can spot out sexual orientation. Like the enemy cares that I was born a man or a woman, or that I like men and women. Who knew the only requirement of patriotism is to be testosterone-filled and straight? That nationalism is for the naturally born man, and that national security can't be secured by a woman's hand? Donald Trump. Instead of banning those who have had a sex change, arrest those who have committed a sex crime. Military hazing is alive and unknown, just like the thousands of rape reports that go missing, vanished without a trace, or the hundreds of forced outings of gay men in order to toughen them up because pansies aren't allowed in no man's land. Joining the Army was something I've wanted to do since I was 9. I've took every test and passed with flying colors, shot every gun, and erased every form of individuality in order to conform, for we are one. But as I carry that camo backpack, the only thing that's inside of it is the thought of, is risking my life worth it anymore? Thank you.
One more time for Ty J. Black Cancer.
I like how you started off this piece. Let's get it together. My critique, right, is think about your introductions in the future, about the flow of the first 2 lines, because it sounds similar to how you came in with the other piece. It's not a bad thing. It's just that you have to be mindful of those type of things. The introduction was strong nonetheless. Very deep piece on inequality and wanting unity. I like the message. If I misinterpreted anything, I'm sorry. I'm trying to get everything together. The way you came off in this piece was very subtle, but it was strong at the same time, and I like that about it. I have nothing bad to say. It was a good piece. It was strong.
Elizabeth.
I like the framework of military action, and sometimes the critique just stays with war itself, but the way that you took that to the individual and all of the individualized injustices in the world, I thought that was a really powerful approach. Great job.
Alicia.
I like the topic in general. I also really like the sex change, sex crime line. That was like my favorite line in a piece. And I also feel like it was short, but it was very powerful. And I really enjoyed it.
And DeForio.
Having a son in the military for the past 7 months right now, that was really touching for me. And the stories that I've heard so far over the past 7 months, all pretty true.
Thank you, judges. One more time for Ty J. Coming to the mic now, we have Don Fiction. Please make some noise for Don Fiction.
It was really a coming out sort of piece to let people know that, you know, this is who I am and you don't really know me as well as you think you do.
Hi, everyone. My name is Dante. Let me tell you a little about myself. I was born and raised in Southwest Philadelphia, but you couldn't tell by the way I talk. Philly doesn't claim me because I choose to speak English better than I speak Ebonics, so they tend to disown me. I am very intelligent, but I'm also very lazy. I often forget that knowing how to do the work and actually doing the work are two totally different things. Fun fact about me, I freaking love sleep. But sometimes I love it for all the wrong reasons. My family wants to know why I'm tired all the goddamn time. Like, is it medical? Is it mental? Do I need surgery to give me more energy? Or does my mind realize that the only place that I can be free is in my dreams? Is in my dreams. Is in my dreams. But I love helping people. It fills me with joy to know that I could put a smile on somebody's face, but I'm full of regret because I realize that I don't help people because I want to, but because my own crippling reality is I can't help myself, so I help others as a substitute because helping others break their eggs to make their omelets is a hell of a lot easier than breaking your own. But other than that, I swear I'm pretty normal. But you should probably know that I've been to prison more times than I can count on my fingers. And if you're an overthinker, this should be no surprise to you because your thoughts often capture and imprison you long after the subject of discussion has passed. I'm trying to be free, but my mind keeps chains on me like it's slavery. I give myself all these verbal lashings like I have all these mental scars. I bet you've never seen a master that only whips himself. I hate watching sunsets. They remind me that all beautiful things must come to an end. I hate cloud watching even more because I am envious of how free they get to be. And the thing I hate most, of course, it's writing poetry because it reminds me that I am a human being and not the emotionless robot I make myself out to be. It makes my mouth cry tears that my eyes can't. And when I perform it, it makes me realize that there is something I am actually good at. Do you know why they call me the pawn? Because I transform into what I am needed when I am needed. I can never see myself as being the king, but I am the king's biggest threat. It's funny how something so small like me could be the cause of the king's death. That's just a little about me. If you want to know more, I will tell you gladly. But don't do me a favor. Don't ever say that you really know me because you don't. Thank you.
One more time for Don Fiction. Elizabeth, you have some feedback?
There's some amazing lines in there. I like the whole idea of coming out and saying, here are the different aspects about me. The way that you talked about the line, I hate watching sunsets. And then also the overall theme, which we heard from Nick as well, about the prison of the mind, and that can be what holds us back the most. Excellent content, really good performance.
Alicia.
I wrote down like a couple of my favorite lines, which were the eggs and the omelet line, the prison line, as well as the pawn line. I think those all brought out some great wordplay within a piece, and I really enjoyed that. That was like my favorite thing about, those were my favorite lines, and my favorite things about the piece were those intricate wordplay lines that you had scattered over.
DeForio.
Dante, I think you are learning more about yourself through spoken word. So I think you need to continue on the journey, continue to write, continue to explore, and continue to learn more about yourself and become a bigger person.
And Black Cancer.
Deep interpretation on sleep and how others view your fun fact. This was an introduction piece to me, and I don't mind that for the second round to go about. Nice description of your likes and dislikes, and your own words moved you on stage. You know what I mean, when you were spitting it. So what is there to be said? You kind of know where you stand, and you feel it. You're satisfied with your performance, and that's excellent. So good job, man.
Thank you, judges. One more time for Don Fiction. And can we have another round of applause for the 6 poets who performed in the first half of the final round of the final showcase of season 4 of Drop the Mic. On deck, we have Meek Boss. And coming to the mic now to kick off the second half, we have Ebony. Please make some noise for Ebony.
It's about my cousin Shahid, who died. I wrote a book to tribute him. I haven't read this poem in a while because I don't like to focus on bad things that necessarily go on the Black community anymore, because there's a lot of things being done to us. But it is what it is. I want to read it because it's a tribute to my cousin that I lost. So rest in peace, Shahid. I wrote a book, and this is just the process of me writing the book, everything that happened. You took his soul away. You took his soul away, but only from here. Just 3 months before he died, I threw away every last bottle of my wine, told God I can now confide in him. Sorry, God, I lied again. But that's not my worst sin, see. I think about killing you all the time. I have hate, and it's all justified from his mother's cry. At the funeral, she said, he wasn't perfect, but he was mine. She said, he wasn't perfect, but he was mine. So in my mind, I kill you. Pick up my bottle of wine, take a puff of my own smoke until I choke off evil. There is no joy here. until I look in the mirror and see I've become just like you. And I want to be nothing like you, so instead I began to write. First poem entitled Still Slaves. It's ridiculous how we are no longer slaves, but we still wear shackles of insecurity and chains of self-hatred. No, we are no longer slaves, but we still segregate our own community. Instead of walking a block for education, we hit the block, afraid of living with the struggle. Rappers become our teacher, which wouldn't be so bad if they all rap truth. And I write, since you died, I wonder why the birds even fly here. Can't they feel the dirt that's in the air? Don't they swallow clumps they can't consume? Don't they see the flowers that never bloom? Don't they see the hate that makes fate detrimental? Don't they cry again and sentimental? Can't they see that no one here is gentle? Don't they want to lash out their own eyes, no longer to see the shadows of our mistakes? Is our unrighteousness just too much for them to take? And I write, interpersonal violence because we hate ourselves. Spiritual wickedness turns into neighborhood rivals, but on our dresser lies a Bible that no one reads. Seeds of hatred planted on the steps of our doors, hours of violence, selling our soul like it's worth a dime, killing our own like we're blind. And I write, see, he may have died in pain, but he will not die in vain. We will do peace treaties in his name. We will march until we reach heaven, and Shaheed will say, thanks for the jewels in our crown. You can finally sit down now. I'm sorry.
Give it up one more time for Ebony. Elizabeth.
Still recovering emotionally from that, and I have to go first. I'm just really moved by it, how you can use a trauma, a profound trauma, to give social critique and also, show the tremendous emotional problems that can be perpetuated if violence isn't stopped. So really beautiful.
Alicia.
I think it was really like a dope tribute poem, but within that tribute poem, it felt like there was other mini poems as you take this journey, and kind of giving us insight on what's going through your mind. And each time you said, and I write, it's kind of like you reset and then you start to go back in. And I think that was a great transition through each time throughout the poem. So you did a really awesome job.
DeForio.
I felt like it was very therapeutic. I also felt like every time you said, and I write, you stopped writing at one point and you came back. Once you thought of something else, then you started writing again. And then you stopped, thought about some other things, maybe some days or some months went by and you came back and said, I write. So that's what I got out of that. Every time you went through something else, you wanted to sit down and write some more. So I thought you did a good job.
And Black Cancer.
I love this piece. You took us on an elaborate journey. I like the lines confined in him, and then you say, sorry, God, I lied again. That's very relatable because we often say things to God and then we do just the opposite. Strong conviction in your words, good projection, shackles of insecurity line and hit the block lines with the extended metaphor that you had that followed. I like that. And you touch on topics to get your emotions out, opposed to like trying to get a big score, and that represents genuineness, and I respect that. Good job.
Thank you, judges. One more time for Ebony. The poet on deck is Fiona, and coming to the mic now, we have Meek Boss. Please make some noise for Meek Boss.
My final piece was related to alcoholism and how it affects families and how it trickles down from generation to generation. Down to the wire. I want to say good job, everybody, first and foremost. How many of y'all like to turn up by show of hands? Pop bottles, chill, go to the club, you know what I mean? You know, dab on them real quick. You know what I mean? So I thought I'd take this time out to share a story. Since I've been deemed the hood storyteller from the lovely Alicia, I thought I'd share a story. So I'm chilling with folks the other day, you know what I mean? We hit up the bar, we hit up my homie house, had a few drinks. Everything going good till we leaving after hours. Let's just say a right turn into a left, and to turn a paragraph into a sentence, the 2-hour search led to me, passed out in the men's bathroom. Don't ask. Couple splashes of water, I came to. My homies yelling at me, yo, dog, you turn up too much. You don't know how to just chill, have a good time. I'm like, I'm turning up. I'm chilling. I'm having a good time. She's like, no, you go too far with it, yo. Yo, to keep it real with you, I think you alcoholic. I said, pause. And I knew she was in good standing when she said what she said. I knew she didn't mean no harm, and she was just, you know, being a good friend. But my denial had me snap on her. So I snapped. I'm like, I am not an alcoholic. Just because I drink every single day. Yeah, I get high, but I get by, but get high off most of my pay. I sacrifice a normal life for one of pure misery. I guess I'm a young woman stuck in time, repeating my father's history. But I am not drunk. I am inebriated, hovering over a toilet, clenching my chest, barely catching my breath. It's reminding me of death and my father. Those nights he went drinking, putting bars above us. Pop's heavy drinking left me thinking, damn, did he really love us? And as I laid there in those random places, like passed out in some stranger's basement, I'm reminded of the worst ass whooping I've ever received. Pops whipped me like moms, and like moms, I was battered to nosebleeds, which is exactly why I don't get drunk. But I do drink. However, I would not repeat after my father who repeated after his father, so I do not get intoxicated. I drink. No, not to wean out my sorrows. No, this is no attempt for my departure from tomorrow, because I am not an alcoholic. Should I just be turning up? Right? Meek Boss, drink with a purpose, for a purpose, drink responsibly.
Give it up one more time for Meek Boss. Alicia.
So I was still jotting. All right. I like the way you started the story with your intro, or started with the intro, which was a story, and then got into the poem. I think that was really cool. You know, some people that like to turn up. I'm not saying no names, Alicia. But I also like the denial in each of the lines. So, like, I'm not an alcoholic, and yet redefining it in a different way. I thought that was really cool and really clever.
Thank you.
DeForio.
So ditto, Alicia, again, in my head. Meek Boss, great job.
Thank you.
Deuces.
Thank you.
Black Cancer.
Great oomph to your presentation, if you know what I mean by that. Very comfortable. You relied on your personality and your storytelling skills for this one to get through the piece. You're conscious of your body and those past events that gave you the material to write this piece, so it was wonderful, it was relatable, and it was meaningful. What else is there to say?
Say less. Thank you.
Elizabeth.
I liked the hybrid piece, the storytelling, and then moving into the poem, like Alicia said. It was almost like freestyle, but then you could see all the carefully crafted lines. You knew that everything was intentional. And I also liked the echo of the father. The line reminds me of death and my father, almost like enjambment there, that it's reflected back to what was being said before and then what was being said after. Again, just your poems are just really well thought out and have really crucial messages for people.
Thank you.
Thank you, judges. One more time for Meek Boss. The poet on deck is Nick. Coming to the mic, we have Fiona. Please make some noise for Fiona.
And everybody's a great poet, and I think we're on an even level playing field. So I don't quite know what will happen, but I'm really excited to find out.
I am a footnote. Merely a background character in a white man's story with my culture stored in his inventory. Welcome to the United States of America, land of the free, home of the brave, where united is translated as discriminated. Who am I, you ask? I am Jackie Chan, I am a doctor, I am karate, I am good grades, I am the chink you degrade and underestimate. I am Korean, Chinese, I am whatever you want me to be because you confuse my nationality and lump the people of my race together, stripping away my individuality because all Asians are the same, right?
What about representation in the media? Why am I always the secondary character, always the best friend, but never the main character? My story is being told in a voiceover of a white person. My voice is a leftover on a white man's plate, disregarded and thrown away. My accomplishments are undermined because of my genetics. I guess to you, I'm just an Asian fetish. You think I'm submissive and that I won't fight back. But what you don't see is there's no need to fight back since I've always been fighting. See, I'm not an immigrant, I'm a refugee escaping to be free from my third world country only to be confined by your chains of racism. We fled from armed soldiers, stayed in refugee camps and crossed enemy territories while you were reading your child a bedtime story, so no. You don't get to tell me that I stole your American dream while you do nothing but stare at a screen. You call immigration an invasion, but forget the millions of natives' lives you killed when you took their land. So no, pushing me down with stereotypes will not work because my worth is not defined by the shape of my eyes. Silencing me will be ineffective because your ignorant misconceptions is not who I am. Who I am is a leading role in my own story. Thank you.
One more time for Fiona. DeForio.
Fiona, you came back this time. Good job. I liked everything you had to say. I thought there was a lot of truth in it in terms of social biases that a lot of people face, especially immigrants and refugees as well. So a good story.
Black Cancer.
You paid attention. United is, what is it? United is translated as discriminated or something like that, that line. Race is such a touchy subject, and it should be. You represented the epitome of approach with caution. Don't just talk out your mouth, know something about my culture. And that's what you said on stage. You giving knowledge to the culture and the history behind it was so strong. It was a strong piece. Good way, you landed it. Good job.
Elizabeth.
Yeah, excellent confidence. I like the footnote, inventory, voiceover, leftover, the different ways of representing how the speaker feels. Really nice performance.
Thank you. And Alicia.
Yeah, I agree with Elizabeth. I love how you started, I am a footnote, and then how you followed that line. And then I feel like it was just so much within that piece, and so much energy, so much anger, so much truth, so much like know me before you say anything, before you make judgments. And I think that piece displayed everything that you wanted to get out. So amazing job.
Thank you. Thank you, judges. One more time for Fiona. The poet on deck is Ebo. Coming to the mic, we have Nick. Please make some noise for Nick.
I really wrote this like last night. I wanted to pick something old, but I was like, I'm not feeling none of the old stuff. I'm like, this is how I'm feeling right now.
The other day, a friend of mine said, you know, it's ridiculous that anyone claims to be a part of an individual race. We are all the human race. And when I thought about it, I kind of thought, yeah, it does kind of seem ridiculous. After all, ethnicity is just an idea that we created. The next day, I decided to forget about this idea of race and live as though I'm colorblind. I did nothing out of the ordinary, just went about my day. I didn't listen to the news. I did not want to hear any political conversations. I just wanted to be. I thought maybe if I didn't see color, then people would see me for me. It didn't work. I thought everything bad was left in the past. Yesterday, I was called a nigger in Old City. It was by a white boy driving by in his car. Until then, I forgot that I was one. Still, I did not let it stop me. I met up with my friend and pretended that everything was fine. We got some pizza and walked in the nicer neighborhood. Then some cops stopped us and pointed a gun in our face. Nobody fucking move, are the words I'll never forget. But we are all human, right? Is that why my humanity was taken away from me in seconds? You can't be out here in t-shirts and basketball shorts as what one of the police officers said. It makes you look suspicious. So the clothes I wear make you feel uncomfortable, make you feel threatened. But I don't wear that at work. Yet I get cold stares from white customers when I greet them. On my way to work, white women clutch their bags when they see me. Even in a button-up and bow tie, I still look suspicious? I wonder why.
I tried to live in a colorblind world, but I was told that even my ID makes me look like a thug. I tried to live in a colorblind world, but someone said Trayvon got what he deserved. I cut off my fro, put my fist down, but in the circle of my white friends, I was picked as the black clown. I wanted to believe that the system had changed and that America no longer benefited from breaking down black bodies. My coworker told me that I was crazy. Why would you think that anybody of color has a disadvantage in this country? And for a minute, I thought maybe I was. I tried to live in a colorblind world, but I could not sleep there. I could not think there. My baths have become much longer. The only time I could think is when I'm submerged in water. I tried to wash away America's denial, but it stained my black skin, and the blood of my ancestors stained my spirit, and the blood of Trayvon stained my mind. I can't get it off of me. It's big, it's ugly to look at, and everyone walks around me pretending that they can't see it, including myself. I tried to live in a colorblind world. I truly wanted to. I tried to. But America has a funny way of reminding me that no matter how human I am, I'm still black. Thank you.
Another round of applause for Nick, everyone. Black Cancer.
I love the way when you come up on stage, you make the space your own. You definitely did that with this piece. You place your faith in your reading. And that's, you show confidence. That's an admirable trait. You owned your place, strong description throughout the whole piece. You touched on the emotions and the negative perspectives of others, which was beneficial to the poem. It just strengthened the poem even more. Your left hand adds to your piece. So you hold the paper, but you still give conviction, which I like. And it just has so many lines. I try to live in a colorblind world amongst a bunch of other lines. Good job, man.
Elizabeth.
I really like the vulnerability of the opening. So you didn't just say, you know, I had a situation with a friend and I said, no, you're wrong, right? It's like the speaker really takes in what the friend is saying, and then it becomes a meditation on colorblind racism in this very powerful way, where I was totally on board with the whole thing.
Alicia.
Yeah, I like the way you set it up. You kind of set it up where it's like, okay, let me try this out and see if it works. And then throughout the piece, you carry that, well, and you never said, you know what, I'm going to stop trying. It's like, oh, I'm going to keep pushing, even with the adversity throughout that you explained. So I think that was really dope. And my favorite lines in the piece was black clown and stained my skin and my spirit. I thought that was really dope and really clever.
And DeForio.
For me, I think you turned from a narrator of a story to an actual performer in the story. And I can kind of tell when it broke from one to the other. So when you were in the beginning, I was kind of like imagining what you were saying and pitching the characters and whatever in it. Then all of a sudden, you became the main character in the second part to me. So good job.
Thank you, judges. One more time for Nick. The poet on deck is Riley. Coming to the mic now, we have Ebo. Please make some noise for Ebo.
In my experiences, it's kind of hard for us as black men to tell each other that we love each other because, you know, you got to be, you know. So, growing up, I learned or experienced that for black men, it is very hard to say I love you to each other. So this was my I love you to my father. Thank you. Without words, I can't explain. With words, I would fail to encompass the very importance of your existence. You have been the part of my life that I never knew the importance of, a life that was given as a gift. I sit on this stoop not knowing if my tears were valid. I sit on this stoop staring at a world that passes me by without any sort of attention to my needs. With every passing vehicle, I ask myself if the next one will be the one for me. My prayer received. My call picked up by a man that I spent most of my life trying to figure out if the number I used was right. Why am I here? What is my purpose? Did you love me? Did you want me? Was I worth what you came for, or was it worth what you came for? And just when I begin to ask, you beep your horn, you look at me with love, and when I look at you, I begin to see the very thing I've been waiting for, myself.
Give it up one more time for Ebo. Elizabeth.
I like the ending a lot. When I look at you, I see myself. The interiority, how I think it reflected how in life there's so many questions that are unanswered, but then ultimately what we have is our own selves, and being okay with those questions. So very sensitive piece, very vulnerable piece, and well performed as well.
Alicia.
I like the vulnerability in a piece as well. I feel like it takes you on a journey of a young man learning to love himself, or love his father, but also love himself in that process. I think that was really dope. I like the lines where you said, "Not knowing if my tears are valid," and was it worth what you came for? I thought that was really dope.
DeForio.
I think it was really about expectations of what we as men expect from our fathers, our uncles, our cousins, our brothers. And without having ever to say that and not feeling any kind of way, but wanting to say that and still feeling like a man. So that's important.
And Black Cancer.
This piece was different and decent. The line, "I sit on the stoop not knowing if my tears were violet," I hope I got that right. That stood out. Once again, this piece was very personal and touching. With this, you aim for the heart and then the mind. It's a totally different energy. It's a totally different aura. I dig it. Good job.
Thank you, judges. One more time for Ebo. And now closing out the final showcase for Drop the Mic Season 4, we have Riley. Please make some noise for Riley.
Basically the suicide note I never wrote, and going through kind of how I felt at that time in my life.
I never wrote a note. I didn't leave a reason, an excuse, nothing. I was ready to pop some pills and slip my wrist, recounted this all to my therapist, called it suicidal ideation. She made sure I saw a psychiatrist who put me on Lexapro real quick. I was sick, but I still didn't say anything. I have spent too much time bottling everything up inside. 17 years on this planet, and here I am still fighting the not-so-good fight, feeling so numb that I couldn't even cry, so numb. I didn't care if I lived or died, so numb. The world didn't even feel real to me down deep inside. I was so numb. Before you ask, I know there are people that love me. There are hotlines I can call, but not all the therapy and love in the world can keep all the bad thoughts at bay. If I could just run away, forget all my troubles, and settle down alone in a bungalow on the coast of Maine, spending each day by the bay, yeah, that sounds real nice. Except it's never that simple, never that easy. The world isn't so clean-cut. Thinking like that is just dreaming. I feel like I don't deserve to complain, to feel this way, wondering how real my problems are anyway. I mean, there are kids starving to death, people getting straight up murdered for existing, polar bears are fucking dying. What right do I have to complain? They always tell me, get over it, it's all in your head. And that's the problem, it's all in my head, but that doesn't make it any less real for me, except I don't know what is real anymore. I go through the motions, going about life like I'm walking through molasses. I thought Tuesday was yesterday, not 3 days ago. Days turn into weeks and weeks into months and months into years. When you stop caring if you make it to tomorrow, my brain is always telling me you're no good girl, never gonna be that pretty perfect girl. All you ever will be is mediocre girl. So go ahead and take those pantyhose and make a noose with them, girl, but there are no rafters in my home for me to hang from. Instead, the medicine cabinet calls to me like an all-you-can-eat buffet, telling me to stuff my face, choke down what I can until anything happens. I often think of my friends and family, people I would leave behind in the process of moving on from this world to the next. I wonder if I would truly be missed. Yes, I know they will mourn, but they have to move on someday. They have to continue with their lives just as the seasons change, but though they say pain is only temporary, I think of my own constant ache, Same one that has left my entire existence plagued. I never really did want to technically die. Never believed people do anyway. We all just want to get away, make our escape. And for what? And for some of us, that is suicide, but for what? The chance to be born again, the chance to stop hurting, this chance to start fresh, except it's never that easy. I never wrote a note. But if I did, I think it would look a little bit like this. Thank you.
Make some noise one more time for Riley. Alicia.
Yeah. So I connected to this piece emotionally. When you started off, it's like I never wrote a note. I love the way you started with that, but you also ended with that. I think my favorite line within the piece was the medicine cabinet calls to me, just like that whole struggle about like how and why or what would I do, and how you like showed that in the piece. I think that was just really, really clever. Yeah, it's a really dope piece. It was really strong.
DeForio.
I think it talks about the reality of mental health issues and suicidal ideations. Did you ever see the Netflix show? I think it's 13, I think.
13 Reasons Why.
Yeah, 13 Reasons Why. Yeah, it totally reminded me of that. So good job.
Black Cancer.
Screw your therapist. Feeling so numb amongst all the symptoms of a depressed individual. To target that was good. It was a good topic to touch on. Your hand snaps sometimes with your right, and then there comes a gesture. I didn't mind that. That was cool. It just didn't dwindle aimlessly. And the tick fit right, the way you relayed your words. So everything was good. It was a consistent flow, and you kept pushing. Nice job.
And Elizabeth.
I think it was another honest and really important poem. I liked the line, I feel like I don't deserve to complain, and also the line, fighting the not so good fight. You just, put your heart out there, and I think we all really responded to it. Good work.
Thank you, judges. One more time for Riley. Can we also have another round of applause for all 12 of our poets? We have now come to that time when the judges have a very tough job. So I'm going to be calling out the names of our top 5 poets, but it's the top 3 who will be getting prizes, okay? But everybody here, obviously, you're all winners, okay? In 5th place, Nick. Please step forward, Nick. Let everybody give you a round of applause. In 4th place, it was actually a tie. We have Fiona and Ebo, who tied for 4th place. In 3rd place, and also I'd just like to mention that all the gift cards were provided by the Office of Student Life. Please give it up to the Office of Student Life. Dave Waters, who's always been very supportive of Drop the Mic. 3rd place and the winner of a $50 gift card to Barnes & Noble is Meek Boss. Please give it up for Meek Boss. In 2nd place, and the winner of a $100 gift card to Barnes & Noble is Ebony. Please put your hands together for Ebony. And our champion of Dropped Mic Season 4, and the winner of a $200 gift card to Barnes & Noble is Soothsayer. Please put your hands together for Soothsayer. These are our poets one more time. Everyone, please show your love. Season 4, Dropped Mic. Our judges, please give it up for Black Cancer, Elizabeth Catanese, Alicia Dantzler, DeForio Barlow,